depending on which calendar you use. Julian or Gregorian, Sir Isaac Newton was born in 1642 or 43 and wasn't expected to survive, but he did, and went on to be one of our greatest scientists. He not only discovered gravity, but also laws of motion and the light spectrum. He was an MP and Master of the Royal Mint as well as President of the Royal Society. He died in 1727 and was buried in Westminster Abbey alongside Henry VII, Elizabeth I, Charles Dickens, and Charles Darwin. The Royal Society is the oldest scientific institution in the world, and many key discoveries have been made there. Legend has it that Newton was hit on the head with an apple, and that is how he discovered gravity. This isn't quite true. He did see an apple fall from a tree, but rather than hitting him on the head, it got him thinking, and that's how he worked out that gravity must exist. This is why the weight of 1 Newton is approximately the same as 1 apple. Gravity is an invisible force that pulls everything towards the center of Earth. It feels like it is pulling down, but that's because wherever you are on Earth, it is pulling you down towards Earth. Your feet are still on the ground and, because of gravity, down feels the same wherever you are on Earth. Gravity is measured in meters per second squared. Earth's gravity is 9.8 meters per second squared. Mass is a measure of how much matter or stuff is in an object. Small objects may contain a lot of matter, like a metal ball. Larger objects may contain very little matter, like a polystyrene block. Weight is the mass of an object, affected by how strong the gravity is. So, weight is also a force. Weight is the force of a mass pushing down on the surface on which it is standing. Weight is measured in newtons. When you measure weight in kilograms, you are actually measuring in kilogram force, meaning the mass multiplied by the force of gravity. Every object has gravity, an invisible force that pulls things towards its center. The bigger the object, the bigger the gravity. The sun is huge, so its gravity keeps the planets in our solar system orbiting it. Earth's moon has its own gravity, but it is smaller than Earth, so Earth's gravity keeps the moon in orbit around Earth. The sun's gravity is 274 meters per second square. The moon's gravity is 1/6 of Earth's gravity, so an object with the same mass will weigh differently on Earth than it does on the moon. This astronaut has a mass of 60 kg on Earth. Even though the astronaut doesn't change size and mass, they would weigh 6 times less on the moon, that is just 10 kilograms. This is because the force of gravity is less on the moon than it is on Earth. The moon's gravity is 1.6 meters per second square. When we jump, we forget that it's gravity making us fall back down to the ground. On Earth, we are used to knowing what a jump feels like, but on the moon the pull of gravity is much weaker, so we fall back down to the ground much slower, leading to the floating effect astronauts experience on the moon. On a planet with twice as much gravity as Earth, you would find it hard to jump at all. Not only that, your legs would have to be stronger just to hold you up. Jupiter's gravity is 24.8 meters per second square. Even when astronauts are in space, they are still being affected by gravity from the sun and planets. There's a tiny bit of gravity everywhere in space. Zero gravity is not quite the correct explanation for this. It is actually microgravity, meaning that there is a tiny bit, but not none at all. When things, including astronauts, are far enough away from a planet they are only affected a tiny little bit by gravity from that planet. This means that they float around and are not dragged back to the surface of the planet as the gravity isn't strong enough from that distance. Astronauts are actually experiencing weightlessness, which is due to the speed they are traveling. It's more like being in free fall. You know that moment when you reach the top of a fairground ride or the top of a trampoline bounce before you start coming down? Well, that's a moment of weightlessness. Thanks for watching video. Please like and subscribe for more videos.